So in this week's episode, we're going to be attaching the pies to the top of the dome. However, really important big thank you to, in no particular order, Steve Graham, David Breer, Chris Davies, Alan Allsop, David Trapp, Chris Campling, Trevor Rodway, Svi Wheeler, P40F20 and Horlicks. And also to everyone that liked my channel and watched it, obviously, thank you so much for supporting. So we'll start this off by finishing off the three upper rings. These are the parts in blue. Took about just over 10 hours to print. Came out really nice. And then we'll just join those up. Okay, so here they are. I'm not really showing you anything different from last week. This is done in a 0.3 layer height. Again, I'm convinced they're all identical. But I have printed off each individual piece. Now these did need a slight bit of filing on the dovetail joints. That's not a total shock. So what I'll do now is I will, cannot wait, let's link these up. So there's 5 into 4 and then 6 into 5. And you see that they do need, let's say I have just filed them, but they do fit really nice and not an awful lot of filing required. And as you would expect, these last pieces, because you're hooking them up to 2, they're the difficult bits. But look, I'm really happy with that. So I'll just see if I can move my camera up. And yeah, it's massive. So yeah, really happy with that. Okay, so we have completed the upper and lower ring, and we want to keep those safe. We're not going to need them for a while. We'll be doing some prep work, but so what I'm going to do is I want to keep them safe. So what I would rather do is actually fix them to the dome. That's the safest thing I can think of doing. Now, you've got all of these screw holes, and you've got them in the dome and you've got them on the lower ring as well. So what we're going to do, we're just going to do a temporary fix. We're not going to go into anything major. I'm not counting the cost of these screws, but I'm just going to bolt them together in, I'm just going to pick 3 random places, and then that way we should just then have it just temporarily fixed, just so that it doesn't get lost and doesn't get broken. So I'll do that now, and then we'll get in and do some work on the pies, and then that should be it for this week. Okay, so that's not super secure, but it's secure just enough to hold it, so that's not going to get lost. So what we want to do now is we want to fix the pies onto the top, and you see here that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fixing points, and the actual dome top also has 6 spokes. So what we want to do, I don't know if these are all equidistant, so I'm just going to keep measuring them up until I find something I'm happy with. And basically I'm looking for the best possible fit. That's a really good fit. So remember, I'm just going to put a little mark there. So that's a good fit. You can't really see that, but I've just made 2 purple marks. So we'll just keep going round. We'll see if we can get a better fit. It might be that the plastic has warped a little bit. It might be that they're not quite the same size. We really don't know at this point. So that's not a bad fit. I think actually this is quite possibly the best fit we've got. So I'll keep that one there lined up. that one will go. I mean, obviously there'll be a lot of tidying up to do. Lovely. So I'm really happy with that. So I'll just make sure I've got that marked. So I'll make another mark. Let's use this one. So we mark an X there and an X there. So now we can take this off and we know exactly where to go back to. So what we're going to do now, nothing we haven't already done before. We're going to drill the holes there, exactly the same way we did before with a little short drill bit, so that we don't go all the way through. If we go all the way through, it's not a major problem. Now these ones, the holes do go all the way through. So what I've decided, I'm going to just bring that closer so you can see the holes. So you see there's a hole there. It does go all the way through. So I am going to drill those holes all the way through. And then what I'll do is I'll put a longer piece of filament through. And then I'll glue it into there. And then we can feed it through. And then I'll glue it with super glue. And then we'll see if we can either clamp it down or tape it down or something to hold it. I'm going to use fast acting super glue because I don't think I'm going to be able to clamp it in the same way that I did with the dome pieces. Okay, so I've put the pie pieces in. Now there's a couple of things that I didn't even think about them, to be honest with you. You need to line them up by the hole, so it is a good idea to dry fit. What's actually happened is, I don't know if you can see that, but that's my purple X from the pie, and that's the purple X on the dome. These actually didn't fit where I originally put them. You need to actually line the holes up. As you see, it's gone through absolutely fine now. We've got the little pieces of sprue poking out, so keep an eye on that. Don't go straight in with the glue. Secondly, these have actually gone in so stiff. Some of them I can't actually lift them up to glue them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the plan, and I'm actually going to weld them in with the 3D pen. So that has just paid for itself even further. Now this isn't going to be neat. Some of them don't quite line up properly. So this is going to be extra work we're going to need to do. So the confession at the moment is that it's actually not as easy job as I thought it would be. I don't think it's beyond me. I think I'll be able to do a good job. But it isn't really simply a case of print, stick together. So I will get the 3D pen warmed up, and we'll get that one sorted out. Okay, I'm really happy with that. That's got a lot better than I expected. I wasn't sure if it was going to hold. Now some of these haven't lined up properly. I may have to sort them all out. It may well be that I put the pies in the wrong way, but we'll soon find out once we finish it. So I've got the 3D pen out. Now I was going to fill all of these gaps in at a later date, but I think I might as well do that now as I've got the 3D pen out. So here is my dome so far, and I am really happy with it. When I was doing the seams, I haven't done the bottom bits actually, but I didn't go all the way down to the bottom because I didn't want to accidentally join the blue part to the dome, because obviously that's got to come out and that's got to be cleaned up. It is rather scruffy, but the next stage will be to sand it. Then obviously we'll take the blue bit, but I mean it's looking fantastic. I really love it. So yeah, thank you, Mr. Badley. You are an absolute genius. You've made me so happy so far. There's actually, I mean, sometimes I'm thinking I'm not really progressing that much. I only want to do like a couple of hours a week. I have other things in my life like work and other projects, but at the same time I think I've actually come a long way in such a short space of time. I've only spent what are we up to, about episode, I can't remember what episode this video is now. So I've spent probably, what we up to, episode 9, so I must have spent about 4 or 5 hours on it. Most of the work obviously has been done by the printer, so it's just a case of chip away at it. I want to keep it going regularly. I do have a habit, if I put a project down for too long I struggle to pick it up again, so I do want to keep chipping away week by week, and this is really keeping me going. So what I'll do is I will leave you. I'm sorry, I've got to do this. This is how big the dome is, 18 inches across, and it fits my head inside. So lots of exciting things to come. Obviously we're going to be spending a lot of work on the dome. I'm anticipating that the dome will consume most of the time, which is fine, because you know, if you did this project and you got as far as the dome and went, yeah, I don't want any more. Now, I mean, obviously, I'm quoting someone from YouTube. You've got a nice dome to look at. Yeah, that's fine. R2D2 dome, and it's one of those things that even if you're not a Star Wars fan, you still recognise. But I'm really happy. Let's get on with some more prints ready for the future. Okay, so usual procedure. Load them up, arrange them on the print bed as you see fit. I've done 2 pieces on this one, and when I've sliced them they are just short of a 10-hour print, and again I'm really happy with them. Just to remind you, I do print the body in light grey. Any parts that are going to be white I actually do in light grey. I'd recommend doing them in white. However, because I'm videoing them, the white really does wash out, doesn't show up too well, so I use light grey because it's so much better. So these are the parts. Now I will confess that I'm a little tiny bit confused. This is part 7, as you can see the 7 on the top. Now this piece was going to go into there. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's how it goes. This piece, normally when you join pieces together, this is piece number 6 that we did last week. You can see from the holes that's going to join there, and there's a little ridge there, so that's going to go in there. It's going to need some cleanups. It's not a good fit. It's not a problem. So that will go. Oh, it's difficult. It's difficult to hold. I think this little piece is going to go there. I'm not 100% sure, but that's where it looks like it's going to go. There aren't any. There's no actual holes to join it, but it certainly looks like, if you look this side, there's a little ridge there, and there's obviously something going to go over there, and then this will go on. So it's really important to keep this piece safe. Piece number 8 is a little bit easier. This piece is going to go there, and looking at the 2 holes there, I suspect that's going to go into piece number 9, but we won't know that until next week. 7 and 8 joins with a hole there, there and there, there and there. That will go in nicely like that. Now they aren't the same width, They're the same width there, but there's a little bit of an overhang there. You should see I use supports. I didn't mean to, but they're going to need pushing out. They'll be really simple to push out. Just push those with, there we go, that one's come out. Just as simple as that. So I'll do that at some point. There's a few little inaccuracies with the printer. I think I had a little bit of a problem with the bed leveling. I find that probably 99% of all my print problems are down to bed leveling. But yeah, this is it for this week, so I'm really happy. I'm pretty sure that I'm absolutely positive that that will go in there. I will of course keep you updated, but that will just be a little runner for whatever goes on there. Okay guys, so that's it for next week. We just need to do the costings. Okay, so I'm actually rather happy with the costings this week. We began the week with £8.91 and we added £10 to that. The upper rings 5, 6 and 7 should have been a little bit cheaper this week because we only did 3, so that came at £2.54. Ring 1 pieces 7 and 8, they were £3.82, and that gave us a total spend of £6.36. So we're actually able to save almost £4 this week, which gives us a balance of £12.55. So we now actually have more than 1 week in the kitty. So that's good. Our kitty's going up. Okay, so it's getting exciting now. So next week we are going to get the sander out. So it's going to be hard work. It's going to be tough work. It's going to be a lot of work. But what we need to do now is begin to sand this down, and the process is going to be to give it quite a heavy sand, just to smooth it off. We won't get it completely smooth. There'll be lumps and bumps. And then the following week we'll be putting some filler on it, and then we'll give it a nice smooth sand, and we're going to try and create this lovely shape. We're going to try and keep that dome shape, and then we will pop some filler primer on it, and that will hopefully completely level it. Then we'll give it another light sand, then we'll give it a proper, what I call a painting primer, and then we'll begin to paint it. It's going to take a series of let me just check how many weeks I've planned this over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've actually allocated 9 weeks to do this, and that sounds an awful lot, but there's 2 reasons for that. One is because it's the first bit of sanding and painting we're going to be doing. Obviously it's something to explain, so to explain absolutely everything to you, I think will make the video hours long, and that's something I want to try and avoid. I'm just starting to get the videos down to about 15-20 minutes, but also if we take our time, if we allow a whole week to do one single job, it gives us the time to do it properly. This could actually take 7 weeks. If it comes out really well after the filler, we may not need a second a second sand, because obviously I'm going to do the filler primer, I'm going to sand it. If it's then a little bit lumpy, we need to do another filler primer, and we just need to keep sanding and just chipping away at it till it's done. What we're also going to do is we're going to print some blue parts off. Now this will take 2 weeks because of the amount that I can fit on the print bed, but we're going to start to print these blue panels off on the top, and that will really set it off. Once we've done that, we'll start to print the rest of the blue panels, and then obviously once we've done the sanding on the dome, we then start work on the blue panels and we'll paint those up. And of course we're going to continue on the body. So thanks for watching guys. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, etc, etc. Please do have a look at the links down in the description. I'm adding the links as we go each week, but really I cannot stress enough, I could not have done this project without them. Even right down to the music that I'm using to try and make the videos more entertaining. Um, they all deserve love. From the author of the 3D prints, to YouTube even, who's making this possible, down to basically have a look. Please read the description. So the thank yous are coming next, and then I'll see you next week. So Steve Graham has taken the time to write. Great video, very interesting. Prices for the servo surprised me. Keep up the good work, Penny. Darren Breer says awesome video. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas back to you and everybody. Chris Davies says awesome video. Always a pleasure to see your videos and builds. Alan Allsop says well done, mate. I've learned a lot from your videos, and even though I haven't got one, it's good watching and learning from you. Merry Christmas. Chris Campling, they are a lot cheaper than I thought. Thanks, Penny. Chris Campling there is referring to the prices of the electronics. I think that they are, well, the general consensus is that they're a lot cheaper than everybody thought. Trevor Rodway writes, another good one. Compliments of the season. Penny, looking forward to the quiz show. The quiz show we actually had on the 2nd of January. It was really good fun, actually. Sophie Wheeler writes, great vid, full of really useful info as always, Penny. Looking forward to next week to see how your upper ring turns out. Mine is bigger than the base of the dome by a good 3-4 millimeters, so if yours comes out okay, I know I've done something wrong. I think it might be my dome though, as mine doesn't have any holes for bolts anywhere. I'm a little bit confused by that. If you've got no bolts, then or bolt holes, does that suggest perhaps you've got support material in there? I don't know. Without looking, I wouldn't know. David Trapp writes, thanks for the shout out, Penny. Another great video. Keep up the great work and look forward to your next one and the Rootmaster. P40 F20 writes, as Chris Campling said below, I thought the electronics you showed in this episode were going to cost you much more than they did, especially the Arduino. My guess before you showed the cost was about 4 or 5 times higher. Still, there are other things like the drive motors and, as you mentioned, the Lazy Susan that will be more expensive. Best of luck with your continued progress. And lastly, Horlicks writes, great content as normal, Penny. I too was very surprised at the cost of the Arduino at £2.45. That's madness. Looking forward to the next episode. So thank you guys, and I will see you all next week.